I'm not going to lie to you, Stephen. I feel like I was made for this.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for stand-up masters whose careers began after the year 2000.
I went to college for the whole time.
Number 20, Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis scored what many young comedians work their entire lives for back in 2019, a spot on the Saturday Night Live cast. Backlash involving some of Gillis's podcast material resulted in that offer being rescinded, but that hasn't stopped the comedian from soldiering on with his work. Gillis continued podcasting, co-hosting the massively popular Matt and Shane's Secret podcast alongside fellow comedian Matt McCusker. His second special for Netflix, Shane Gillis' Beautiful Dogs, debuted in 2023, and his popularity keeps increasing.
Preach, brother!
Number 19, Sam J. The writer's room over at Saturday Night Live received a shot of both brilliance and diversity in 2017 when Samaria Johnson, aka Sam J, joined the crew. Jay was only the second African-American lesbian to work on the show, and the first to be a writer, and her creative voice was heard on SNL for over 3 years. Jay has also co-created comedy shows for HBO and Peacock, including the talk show Pause with Sam J.
I order a Macallan 25, neat. I drink man stuff in this fantasy. And as I turn around, Marlon Wayans flails like a divorced man wearing indoor sunglasses and spills his wine all on my tux.
Meanwhile, her observational voice on stage is quirky, funny, and engaging, with a smooth delivery and charismatic personality. Her career continues to be on the upswing.
My love is gonna be easy, because love is easy. And that's what I believe. Like, if it's true love, it's easy, because I was believing Tyler Perry and Disney and
Number 18, Joel Kim Booster. Not every stand-up comedian explores personal topics that hit close to home in their work. But then again, Joel Kim Booster isn't like every other stand-up comedian.
Excuse me, sir. No. I'm not a bad driver because I'm Asian. I'm a bad driver because I won't wear my glasses and I text, okay?
Booster's South Korean heritage often comes into play within his material, as does his life as a member of the gay community. His humor often pokes holes into stereotypes and the struggles of those living within these communities, as well as their relationship with the world at large.
I mentioned I was adopted. I have 2 adopted siblings. They're biological to my mom and dad. And I have an older brother, and a couple of years ago, he also came out of the closet, which is like, wow, like, oh, I couldn't have planned a better prank, like that. Oh, you punked him good, Jesus.
Yet Booster's work, like the film Fire Island that he wrote and starred in, doesn't come across as heavy-handed, but rather engaging, fascinating, and hilarious. Number 17, Joe Pera. There's no denying that the measured delivery of Joe Pera is an intentional gimmick, but it's a wonderfully unique gimmick for sure. Beyond this, Pera's stylistic approach wouldn't work in a vacuum if he didn't have the jokes to back it up.
Just look at these features. They're just waiting to be filled with grief.
Thankfully, it's a great combination of style and substance, with some solid writing chops and an execution that sets Pera apart from many of his peers. This style of stunt comedy or performance art may not be to everyone's taste, but in a world where so much stand-up seems to be pulling from the same creative well, Joe Pera's approach feels refreshing and different.
Like the casino, it promises good times, but without restraint, I will get ruined.
Number 16, Stavros Halkias. The comedy podcast Come Town ended up giving comedy fans a number of talented writers and performers. Adam Friedland and Nick Mullen come to mind, as does Stavros Halkias. The Baltimore native is adept at improvisation, riffing, and crowd work, although his comedy has occasionally come under fire by some who take umbrage to Halkias' left-leaning politics and rampant vulgarity.
And I'm a very emotional eater, Like, I use food as drugs. But I also use drugs as drugs, you know what I mean?
The hosts of Come Town may have gone their separate ways, but fans of Friedland, Mullen, and Halkias continue to follow their work today and anxiously await anything new from these funny men. Number 15, Nikki Glazer. The stand-up comedy of Nikki Glazer is proudly transgressive, defiantly gross, and unapologetically over the line. But that's why we love her so much. Glazer's material on stage doesn't care about offending anyone's sensibilities, but her delivery belies her degree in English literature. This is stand-up that prowls topics like sex, relationships, and our weird bodily functions, and does so with a perverse sense of verbose beauty.
Because that's the thing, if your girlfriend breaks up with you out of the blue, when you're like, where did this come from? It's probably because her friends got together and decided that they miss her and they want her back, so They fill her head with lies, and then...
It never feels forced or corny, but rather the results of smart writing and an easy delivery that feels natural and connected with her audience. Number 14, Mark Normand. Mark Normand is another stand-up comedian who's been blazing a hilarious path for over a decade.
This is a one-sided conversation that's been pre-written and rehearsed over and over. And if you guys talk, you get thrown out. I can't lose.
He's also a big presence in the comedy podcasting world, who's collaborated with a number of other funny fellows, like Joe List on Tuesdays with Stories, as well as Sam Morril on We Might Be Drunk. The comedian has also appeared on many high-profile talk shows, while also earning rave reviews in comedy clubs across the USA. The best thing about Mark Normand is that while he's already a successful comic, he still has some status as an up-and-comer, since his popularity keeps increasing.
Any gay guys here tonight? Yeah. Hey, all right. Thanks for coming out.
Number 13, Anthony Jeselnik. It takes a certain kind of stand-up comedy fan to appreciate the dark and confrontational style of Anthony Jeselnik. His delivery may be low-key and calm, but Jeselnik's choice of topics is anything but safe. This is a scorched earth approach that takes no prisoners with regards to its content. Indeed, nobody is safe from Jeselnik or his bleak approach to comedy that makes just about everyone uncomfortable.
Now that's a tough joke late night. And I understand if you didn't laugh, I know I'm not for everybody. But you should probably read more.
His stand-up specials often lead audiences to certain places, only to drop them off in the middle of nowhere, with only hurt feelings and jaws that have dropped completely to the floor.
I don't think anything is off limits in comedy. I mean, you've got to take your punishment.
Number 12, Michelle Wolf. Michelle Wolf is an equal opportunity offender. Her stand-up comedy takes potshots at politics, the news, and everyday differences between men and women, but in a way that feels fresh and invigorating. Wolf's delivery feels effortless, born from an intelligent wit and a self-awareness about finding humor in just about everything. Her performance at the 2018 White House Correspondents' Dinner earned Wolf both praise and controversy, but it also helped cement her in the public eye.
It is kind of crazy that the Trump campaign was in contact with Russia when the Hillary campaign wasn't even in contact with Michigan.
And she's continued to make good on that promise, delivering the hilarious goods each and every time.
Yeah, and if your guy groaned at that, he definitely smelled.
Number 11, Nate Bargatze. Nate Bargatze possesses a lovely southern drawl and a comedy style to match. This is old-school observational stand-up with a cleanliness in the style of Jim Gaffigan, Jerry Seinfeld, and Brian Regan. Bargatze's lack of edgy profanity isn't a drawback at all, however, and his conversational approach makes all of his material truly engaging. Audiences are continuing to take notice as well, since Bargatze's popularity is also continuing to skyrocket. Proof that he's now a mover and shaker in the comedy world? He hosted Saturday Night Live in October of 2023.
Yeah, I'm from the 1900s. And, I just think you gotta say it. Like, the world is so future now, and I feel in the way of it.
Number 10, James Acaster. Comedy nerds, take note. If you haven't checked out the work of England's James Acaster, then we highly suggest that you give this unique and successful performer and author a chance. Acaster is a fantastic wordsmith and storyteller, taking audiences on a journey with a delivery that's charming and ridiculously clever.
Never before have I been so offended by something I 100% agree with.
He'll frequently reference older jokes within the course of a stand-up special, speak in character, and utilize body language to underline his long-form narrative approach. Time will tell if he achieves the same level of success in North America as he's garnered across the pond.
I'll try my best. I'm just saying.
Number 9, Eliza Schlesinger. Eliza Schlesinger is a very funny comedian and is a proudly female-centric performer. But this isn't to say that her comedy is exclusive or limited in any way. Far from it. Instead, Schlesinger's approach is loud, proud, and in control. Enough to make just about anyone laugh.
If I do something dumb when I'm drunk, what hope do the sheep who I lead have?
She can be blustery and absurd one minute and insightful the next, but always seems to know just what to say to make her audiences lose themselves with laughter. There's no comedian around that's quite like her, and she continues to represent the millennial generation's foibles and charms.
I just felt so gross. I didn't even feel like a girl. I felt like a forest troll who'd wandered into a Nordstrom's like, please, don't be frightened.
lady, step into the light.
Number 8, Hannibal Buress. Hannibal Buress has written for a number of different shows over the years, from 30 Rock to a brief stint on Saturday Night Live. Buress has referenced his time on these shows during his stand-up, peeling back the curtains of showbiz in a frequently funny fashion. He also was a hilarious presence on The Eric Andre Show.
Oh, man, I was jogging down the street, and I wasn't jogging because I don't work out. I'd rather just let the calories do what they want to do.
We are killing it.
His observational approach is smart and inventive, with a unique look on life that seems to resonate with his audience. This is a multi-leveled and nuanced style of comedy that benefits greatly by Buress's delivery that feels one part unpredictable, one part chaotic, and 100% hilarious.
Sometimes when I do phone interviews and a journalist is boring, I just start saying crazy stuff to make it fun for me and make the most out of my time. And she said, "What do you talk about in your comedy?" I said, "I talk about the straights."
Number 7, Aziz Ansari. A popular television show can be a godsend for an up-and-coming comedian, and Aziz Ansari had a great one when he broke out on NBC's Parks and Recreation.
3 words for you. Treat yourself.
Treat yourself 2011! However, it was Ansari's work on Netflix's Master of None that enabled a deeper and more affecting style of writing to come to the forefront. That show balanced drama, humor, and visual style in a great way, and Ansari's stand-up continued to thrive, even in the face of controversy. The comedian even referenced his public travails during pop-up comedy shows, and his career in comedy continued to progress, with the special Aziz Ansari Nightclub Comedian dropping on Netflix in 2022.
I love doing these sets. You guys had no clue I was coming, and you don't even know what I'm gonna do. You know, I could just be terrible for 10 minutes and then go home, and I wouldn't feel that bad.
Number 6, Sebastian Maniscalco. Sebastian Maniscalco worked his way up the stand-up comedy ranks the old-school way. The Illinois native started out in 2005, working gigs at the legendary Comedy Store before taping shows for Comedy Central and Showtime. Maniscalco proved he wasn't just a funny man either, and soon moved into acting roles on such high-profile films as Green Book and The Irishman.
We're brothers, right?
That's right. It's a brothers.
We're brothers?
You're brothers.
We're brothers.
I'm not arguing with you.
Meanwhile, Billboard codified the comedian's success when they named Maniscalco their 2018 Comedian of the Year, validating his work as one of the funniest physical comedians out there today.
You ever go into a mini mart at midnight? It's a pit stop for criminals.
Number 5, Taylor Tomlinson. There's something to be said about perspective when it comes to stand-up comedy. Taylor Tomlinson's millennial outlooks on life don't feel exclusive or only designed to appeal to a certain kind of audience. Tomlinson references everyday struggles of love, sex, and relationships in a way that's easy to understand and love, no matter what age you are.
Oh, did he call you babe? He doesn't know your name.
It's clear that these jokes are written with everyone in mind, yet Tomlinson is also very open with regards to her own personal struggles with mental health. As a result, her stand-up can vary in emotional tone, but always remains consistently engaging and very, very funny.
Being in your 20s is a lot like being in middle school, except you know you're garbage now. You're just like totally aware of it all the time.
Number 4, Ali Wong. Ali Wong's 2016 Netflix special Baby Cobra was notable for the fact that she was very pregnant during filming. However, do not think for a second that Wong is a one-trick pony, because this California native has proved time and time again that her wit is razor sharp.
When I've asked him to spank me, this is what he does. Hey, are you okay? Are you all right? You know I respect you, right?
Her joke arsenal always feels primed and ready, with a quick, fearless approach to storytelling. The reactions of her audiences seem to tell the tale. Ali Wong's style of stand-up always feels fresh, always seems to connect, and just gets better with age. And she's a talented actress to boot, with starring roles in the buzzy series Beef and the hilarious rom-com Always Be My Maybe. Number 3, Trevor Noah. The Daily Show has a long and esteemed history of funny people behind the desk, and it was a comedy powerhouse under Trevor Noah's brilliant leadership from 2015 to 2022. The comedian's sharp wit and engaging personality made him a perfect fit for The Daily Show, yet Noah's pedigree as a stand-up artist also remained secure despite his steady high-profile hosting gig.
Because no human being could have been ready for this.
They don't need a moderator for this thing. They need a UFC ref. Dana White, get on it.
While capable of bringing plenty of belly-busting laughs, Noah also specializes in thoughtful, penetrating humor that tackles racism inequality and geopolitics, often drawing on his South African heritage and upbringing. This is intellectual yet personal comedy with an edge.
Accent is just somebody speaking your language with the rules of theirs. That's all an accent is. So don't speak down to them. Don't patronize them. Speak to them the way you would to yourself. Just try and learn their accent. That's all it is.
Number 2, Bo Burnham. The rise of the internet has largely changed how we consume our comedy. Gone, perhaps, are the halcyon days of the comedy LP or CD, and in their place has risen YouTube and TikTok. Enter the brilliant Bo Burnham, who has made the most of this medium for a long time. Burnham's comedic and musical work on YouTube allowed him eventually to collaborate with Comedy Central for his first album, Bo Faux Show. This brought the aforementioned comedy album renaissance full circle and helped expose Burnham to new audiences that appreciated his darkly witty musical comedy. He's gone from strength to strength, and his incredible Netflix special Bo Burnham Inside is perhaps the signature creative work of the pandemic era.
Look, I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite open wide.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. John Mulaney. John Mulaney may have earned rave reviews for his collaborations with friend and fellow comic Nick Kroll, but his comedic voice has continued to evolve to the point where he's simply one of the best out there. Full stop. Mulaney's style is witty and subversive, unafraid to lay bare some very personal stuff, while remaining scathingly funny throughout.
And my dad pulled into the drive-thru, and we started cheering. And then he ordered one black coffee for himself.
His writing for programs like Saturday Night Live is also layered and smart, without having to rely on topical jokes to get laughs. John Mulaney's disarming delivery and charm allows him to get away with a lot on stage, and we are always waiting for what this comedy icon does next.
Mick Jagger talked like this. He'd go, yes, no, yes. I pitched him a joke and he went, not funny.
Who's your favorite stand-up comedian? Let us know in the comments.
I'll just be like, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Hey, look at that high-waisted man. He got feminine hips. And I'm like, no, that's the thing I'm sensitive about.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.